It started like any other friendship online. A few messages here, a laugh there, a connection that felt natural. Innocent even. She didn't know that on the other side of the screen, someone was watching, planning, and waiting. The boy she thought she was texting didn't exist. Instead, it was Austin Lee Edwards, a former police officer from Virginia, posing as a teenager. Over time, he earned her trust, slowly pulling her into a world she never imagined could be dangerous. No one suspected that the harmless chatter on her phone would become the first step in a chilling chain of events. A few texts turned into secret meetings, and secret meetings turned into a nightmare that would engulf her family and leave a community in shock. By the time anyone realized what was happening, it was already too late. What followed was a calculated plan that led to murder, abduction, and a confrontation with law enforcement that would end in tragedy. This is the story of how a teen's trust online became the trap that changed everything. What you're about to hear isn't an isolated story. It's one of many. If you want to uncover more of these hidden truths, make sure you subscribe to the channel so you're with us for the next one. Riverside, California, a quiet suburban town where life felt safe, ordinary. A 15-year-old girl spent her days going to school, hanging out with friends, and scrolling through social media. Like most teens, she was curious, eager to make new connections, and sometimes a little too trusting of the people she met online. It started with a simple message. Someone her age, friendly and familiar, reaching out with shared jokes and interests. The girl didn't think twice. This was just another online friendship. Over the next few weeks, the messages grew longer, more personal. He seemed to understand her in ways no one else did. What she didn't see was the other side of the screen. Austin Lee Edwards, a former police officer, meticulously crafted his persona, shaping each word to gain her trust. Every laugh, every story, every bit of attention was a carefully laid thread, drawing her closer. To her, it felt normal, even exciting. But to Edwards, it was a plan unfolding. A plan that would move from messages to real-life encounters, from harmless chats to dangerous meetings. And then, one day, the messages weren't just texts anymore. They were a trap, set to pull her and her family into a nightmare no one could have imagined. It started subtly at first. A request to meet in person, framed as something innocent, just a chance to hang out, to see the friend she had come to trust online. The girl hesitated, but the messages were persuasive, and soon curiosity overpowered caution. When Edwards arrived from Virginia, the line between online fantasy and grim reality disappeared. The friendly persona she had known was gone, replaced by someone cold, calculated, and dangerous. That night, what should have been an ordinary evening turned into terror. Edwards' plan moved beyond words and screens. In a shocking act of violence, he killed the girl's mother and grandparents, destroying the home that had always been her sanctuary. The house, once filled with laughter and safety, became a scene of horror. Amid the chaos, the girl was abducted, taken far from the only life she had ever known. Panic, fear, and confusion gripped her as she realized the scale of the deception. The person she had trusted online was capable of unimaginable cruelty. Law enforcement scrambled, tracing the abduction across state lines. Every message, every text, every online interaction became evidence, a clue to unraveling Edwards' plan. But time was running out. The community watched in shock as the nightmare unfolded in real time. The story of a teen lured into danger by someone she should have been able to trust. A plan meticulously executed, leaving devastation in its wake. And yet, the story doesn't end there. What followed would be a confrontation that none could have predicted, a resolution that was as tragic as it was inevitable. As news of the abduction spread, law enforcement sprang into action. Teams traced every message, every call, every digital footprint left behind. The friendly text that had seemed harmless now told a dark story of manipulation and premeditation. Authorities quickly discovered the horrifying truth. The person behind the screen was not a teen, but Austin Lee Edwards, a former police officer with a meticulously crafted plan. Every detail of his deception, from the persona he built to the timing of his arrival, was deliberate, calculated, and chilling. As the investigation unfolded, it became clear that time was running out. The teen's safety hung in the balance, and the community held its breath. Police coordinated across states, following leads and piecing together Edwards' movements. The confrontation was inevitable. When law enforcement finally caught up with him, Edwards' actions ended in tragedy. He took his own life before he could face justice. The teen was rescued, but the emotional scars and loss left behind could not be undone. The Riverside community was left reeling. A quiet town had been shattered by a crime born online, a reminder of how dangerous deception can be. And for the teen, the ordeal was a harsh lesson in trust, vulnerability, and survival in the digital age. In the days and weeks that followed, Riverside struggled to make sense of the tragedy. A family torn apart, a community shaken, and a teenage girl forced to confront the unimaginable. For her, life would never return to the way it was. Trust, safety, and innocence had been shattered in an instant. But amidst the horror, there were lessons to be learned. The story became a stark reminder of the dangers that lurk online, of how easily trust can be exploited, and of the need for vigilance in a world where deception can wear a friendly face. Parents, teens, and communities were forced to rethink the digital spaces they once took for granted. Even as she began the slow process of healing, the teen's story sparked awareness of catfishing, of manipulation, and of the importance of paying attention to warning signs. It was a cautionary tale, one that underscored how a few innocent-seeming texts can spiral into a nightmare. In the end, it wasn't just a story about crime. It was a story about survival, resilience, and the fragile line between trust and danger in the digital age. Evil can hide behind a friendly face, and this case proves it. Let us know what you think in the comments. What warning signs did everyone miss? If you want to dive deeper into stories that reveal the darkest corners of human behavior, make sure to subscribe. We'll see you with the next case.